not been done before under any of Israel. None of Israel has touched this part of this lesson at all. So what we're going to do is we want to tie this in real quick. It's a very important lesson, and I always like to think that when something when something come down the pike and it's new to Israel, everybody that show up are the ones was supposed to hear it. Okay, and all of you are online and you're listening to it, then you're supposed to get the information. So we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to try to get started here. First of all, as you can see in the beginning, the name of this lesson is going to be the deception of the Noahide laws, right? And then at the bottom in red we have Satan is the great deceiver. So everybody wonders, well, what is the Noahide law, right? Next slide. But before we do the lesson, this lesson is going to be pretty powerful, right? So we're going to put a disclaimer in prior to doing this lesson. And our disclaimer is going to say we profess to be the true descendants of Israel, and we do not teach against anti-Semitism because we are Semitic people. So that's our disclaimer. We're not teaching against Semitism. Okay. Next slide. All right. So let's go with Revelation 12 now.
Revelation 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out.
And the great dragon was cast out, and what?
That old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
Okay, read.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So now listen, we're talking about the Noahide law, right? Now this is the actual law. If anybody want to stream it real quick on your phones, you can. It's not a law. I mean, it's something. Let me change that. The Most High gave Noah some directions when they came down off the ship, off the ark. Okay, but the ones he gave him, you got people trying to build on that. They're just trying to build on that, and so as they build on it, what we're trying to say is, what we're doing here is that through Satan, they're trying to deceive the world. Through Satan. Okay? So we say that Satan, and according to Scripture, Satan will try to deceive the whole world. But there's a twist in a lot of Scripture that's been put out. And they call this thing the Noahide Law. All right? So let's go to the next slide. Genesis 9.
Genesis 9, verse 1.
Genesis 9, verse 1.
And Yahweh blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast.
Okay, so let's start over again. He said, and he blessed Noah and his sons, right? So the main thing we want to look at here is that he did bless Noah and his sons, right? And then he said, and the fear of what?
And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth.
Okay, so I know you kind of switch a little bit, brother. We're trying to get a lot of it in. Try to get a lot in on the slide, try to make this thing happen, right? But what happened is that this Genesis 9 that we're dealing with right now is where they supposed to got this Noahide law from. Okay, so that's why we're into Genesis 9, okay? But we're going to prove the Noahide law to be wrong. Okay? So it says, and the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all the movement, all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea, unto your hands are delivered. So he said he giving them power over everything. And just like when he gave the law, when he says we come down with the Elohim, man, woman type of thing, all the way down, and the beasts of the field, the fish of the sea. He just gave an order. He put things in order right there for Noah and them, okay? And read the third verse.
Verse 3. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you.
See? So wait a minute, before you do that, Can you someone pull up, I can do it. It's Genesis 7, before you read that third one. We're going to read Genesis 7, 1 and 2. Genesis 7, 1 and 2. Genesis 7, 1 and 2.
You want me to read?
Yeah, if you got it.
Yep.
You got it? Okay, read it.
Genesis 7, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High said unto Noah,
What did he say?
Come thou and all thy house into the ark.
Uh-huh.
For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation.
Uh-huh.
Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens,
Uh-huh.
the male and his female,
Uh-huh.
and of beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female.
Okay, so he had already given Noah and his sons dominion over everything on the earth, right? And then in 3, we're going to read 3 now. Every moving?
On this one,
Yeah, right there.
verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Genesis 9, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you.
So it said every living thing that liveth shall be meat for you, right? So now that make everybody think, okay, you can eat anything you want. But if you notice that we inside the 9th verse of we inside the chapter 9 of Genesis, but we went back and read in chapter 7 of Genesis that the Most High had already made clear to Noah that there was clean food and there was food that was unclean. So we already know that Noah had that understanding. So he said the meat that he did give him, right, was meat unto him, right? So let's go ahead and read that. We read that. Okay. So every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, and what else?
Even as the green herb have I given you all things.
Okay, and read.
Verse 4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat.
Okay, so what that tell us? Something we all been knowing this for years. Right. You can't eat
A rare steak. A rare steak.
Right. So when you cook your food gotta be cooked to make sure all the blood is cooked out of your food. Right? So when some heathenistic person says that they want their what is that, medium rare, we know that they out of the order of the Most High. The Most High is not in agreement with what they're eating at that time. But we're supposed to cook our food. That's why we used to do they used to do the sacrifices unto him. They had to drain the meat for the blood first, then cook the meat, right? And then after they cooked it, they did the sacrifice unto him. Then after they sacrificed the blood unto him, because listen, when they cook the food, the blood is being cooked and it gives off a certain smell and it goes to the Most High. So that means that you're what? You're doing a sacrifice unto him because you're sacrificing the life. The blood is the life of anything. Everybody understand that, right? Remember what happened when Cain slew Abel? What happened? His blood cried out, am I correct? Yep. His body didn't cry out. His body said, he just killed me. That didn't happen. The blood cried out to the Most High and said what? That he was dead. Right? Okay? So it said, but did you read the 4th verse yet?
Yes.
But the flesh with the life thereof. So when it said the flesh with the blood in it, which is the blood, remember to say, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat, right? So now, let's read that 5th verse.
Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And surely your blood of your lives will I require.
So when you eat meat with blood in it, the life of that animal is charged to you. Because you ate the life of that animal. Y'all see that? So just think about how many people and now you don't have to eat the whole animal. All you gotta do is eat one of his steaks. And you eat it raw, and that whole animal is being what? Charged to you. Right? You gotta pay for eating the life of that animal. Because you eat the blood, you eat the life. So if you buy a burger, and that burger, then the meat is red in that burger, after you bite it, try to spit it out. If you get it out, you already swallowed it, you got to throw away that thing and stop praying and ask for forgiveness. Because you don't want that animal, that whole complete animal, to be charged unto you. Right? And continue to read, my brother.
At the hand of every beast will I require.
You see that? So he's at the hand of every beast. So he said, surely your blood of your lives will I require. right? At the hand of every beast will I require. Meaning at the hand of every beast that you eat with the blood in it, he's going to require your life. I mean, you know what I mean? You're charged for that life. And read.
And at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man.
So if a man, okay, get back here. So every time a man eat flesh with blood in it, it's sin, which brings on what?
That,
Yes, go ahead.
that also includes cannibalism.
Yes, it does. It does include kind of Jeffrey Dahmer got a lot of things he got to answer for. And anybody that's running around here playing like they like to eat people, right? They got a lot that they got to answer for, right? And give me that 6th verse, brother.
Verse 6. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man.
You see that? So that's where what? Thou shalt not kill came from, right?
That's right.
Okay, and read that 7th verse.
Verse 7. And you, be ye fruitful, and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein.
And read.
And the Most High spake unto Noah, and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, right? But then everybody come from the seed of Noah? Didn't everybody come from Noah's seed? Right? So he said to him, he told him, he said what? He have established what? A covenant with Noah and with his seed. Right? So he did establish a covenant with him and his seed. He did do that. And go to that 10th verse.
Verse 10. And with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth.
What?
And I will establish my covenant with you.
Read.
Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth.
So that's the covenant that he did with him and all the beasts. Keep reading.
And Yahweh said, This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generation.
All right, y'all got that right. Read 13.
I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth.
So when it started raining, and after it stopped raining, you see the rainbow. What that mean? That means that he's not going. It can be a hard rain for 5 days, but he's not going to flood the earth. He tell him, I'm not going to kill y'all, not with water. Okay, but here's come the funny part about that. Isn't it funny how the people with gay pride took the rainbow? But you see, the rainbow is a covenant that the Most High made with what? With the most righteous man at that time. Noah was the most righteous man at that time, and that covenant was a part of the covenant that he made with him. You see? But gay pride have taken that covenant and put it with them like, hey, right? And read, brother.
Verse 14.
Yes, sir.
And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come to pass.
When I bring a cloud over the earth. And the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh.
Exactly. Read.
And the bow shall be in the cloud. And I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between the Most High and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth.
And read.
And Yahweh said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth.
Next slide. All right. So now, what are the Noahide laws, right? And what do they mean? Have anybody up until now ever heard of the Noahide laws? Y'all gonna be really surprised today. Let me tell you why you're gonna be surprised. because they've been setting up since 1982. Well, I don't want to give no information away too quick. Okay, next slide. Go ahead and read, my brother.
The Noahide laws, according to the accursed Talmud, are in Wikipedia.
So look at here, we saying the Talmud. Y'all know we don't deal with that Talmud, right?
Right.
Y'all know we don't fool with that. And if anybody come here and sneakily try to pull that Talmud out, we're gonna shut them down. But we don't do that. All right? Next slide.
7 laws of Noah.
Here they come. Here come the Noahide Law. Now listen. This is not found to be true. This is something that they made up. That have been made up between. How do I say it? I want to get it. I don't want to throw y'all. I don't want to jump too far ahead, so I can't say it. Okay. So so it's 7 laws of Noah from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. So we didn't pay for this, right? So we're not paying somebody to say that this is true, right? And it's redirected from what? The Noahide Law. Read.
The rainbow is the unofficial symbol of Noahidism.
Y'all see that? So they already gave it. You see it? So they sent the rainbow. You see that already? Read.
Recalling the Genesis flood narrative, in which a rainbow appears to Noah after the great flood, indicating that Yahweh would not flood the planet and destroy all life again.
Read, brother.
The 7 laws of Noah. Hebrew.
What you got? So you ain't got to read the Hebrew.
Okay.
Drop them down here.
Also referred to as the Noahide laws of the Noahide laws. Noahide laws.
Noahide law. Okay. So from?
And our
Right there.
okay, from the Hebrew pronunciation of Noah.
Okay. Now keep going.
Are a set of imperatives which, according to the Talmud, were given by the Most High.
You see that? Once again, the Talmud. All right, keep reading.
As a binding set of laws for the children of Noah. That is all of humanity.
Y'all see that? Because didn't everybody come from Noah?
Yeah.
Okay, keep reading, brother.
According to Jewish tradition, non-Jews who adhere to these laws because they were given by Moses are said to be followers of Noahidism and regarded as righteous Gentiles who are assured of a place in Olam Haba, means world to come.
Exactly.
The final reward of the righteous, the 7 laws of Noah include prohibitions against worshiping idols, cursing God, murder, adultery, and sexual immorality, theft, eating flesh torn from a living animal, as well as the obligation to establish courts of justice.
So everything we read in Genesis 9 from the beginning, they say cover these 7 laws. Next slide. Is that the next slide? Okay, read.
Wednesday, April 16, 2008.
Now listen, pay real close to this. Read.
Pope arrives in U.S. on Education Day.
What is Education Day? When did Education Day even start? Do anybody even know of Education Day? This is some more stuff that's being done in the dark around us that we don't even know anything about. I thought every day was Education Day. But they said Education Day and what?
2008. Tuesday, April 15.
So on April the 15th is Education Day. Y'all remember that. You learn all you can on April 15th. I'm just joking. Go ahead and read.
Was not only the day of the arrival of the Pope Benedict. In the U.S., it was also Education Day. USA, the day on which the U.S. President honors the Chabad Lubavitch Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson on his birthday, according to the Hebrew calendar, Nisan 11. Each year since the presidency of Jimmy Carter.
I don't know how long ago it's been since Jimmy Carter came down through here. Ever since Jimmy Carter. Read.
Schneerson was believed to be the Messiah.
Did you hear that?
What?
Schneerson was believed to be the Messiah
And read.
by Chabad Lubavitchers during the lifetime and continues to be considered so by many of them even 14 years after his death in 1994.
Okay, read.
The Chabad Lubavitch carried on the evangelical tradition of their dead Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, drawing Judaic persons who distanced themselves from the tyranny and superstition of Orthodox Judaism back to those dark traditions and cajoling the Goyim into accepting the Talmudic system of double standards, the Noahide laws, as a replacement for their traditional, universal, one standard for all based upon the biblical 10 Commandments and Christ's Sermon on the Mount.
So y'all see that? So y'all remember the 7 we just read for the Noahide laws? The president's been signing that every year. Every time a new president come in, he signed in the Noahide law in replace of the 10 Commandments. Wow, and that's something. But we get ready, and this stuff here is factual. This stuff here is stuff you can research and pull it up. Next slide. So let's read Exodus 20, 1 through 17. It's funny, but this is some of these slick presidents been doing all the time. So just think about it. Slide, go again, slide. Okay, can someone please name the 10 Commandments? Can anybody name them? Great, y'all did a very good job. Next slide. There you go, brother. Oh, where the hand was that? Back up. Chanel about to get straight. She's about to put us down. What you got, Chanel?
Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not worship false gods, thou shalt not fulfill the Satan.
What's she at, 3? 4, she at 4. You're 4.
Adultery.
What's the day?
Even the Sabbath.
You said next to your wife? Okay. Slap your little brother? No, that's not it. You there. You got.
Don't worship any greater things.
Is that it? Okay, so you got, ooh, I can't do it that way. Can't throw no signs up here.
Thou say no.
That's good. One more.
Come on, girl.
In vain?
Okay,
what?
It's one about people, not about the Most
Don't what? Huh? Say it loud. Y'all give her a hand. Y'all say what? Wow. All right, I'm going to give you that. That's great. In fact, I'm going to add to it when I get a chance. You did a very good job, Bob. Wonderful. I like that. All right, so now, I gave me a chill. So now I say, okay, so she named the 10 Commandments. We said, can it? I guess the answer is yes. Next slide. Okay, so now listen. We're going to read the 10 Commandments now, right? Can you see them, brother? Okay, read them for us.
Verse 1. And the Most High spoke all these words, saying, I am the Most High, your Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of bondage.
So remember now, they trying to say this false Noahide law supposed to replace this 10. Read.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Most High, thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take thy name of the Most High, thy Elohim, in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that take his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all that work, but the seventh is the Sabbath of the Most High, thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Most High thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Next slide. Thank you, brother. Okay, so now here come the Noahide laws. These 7 right here supposed to cover all that 10. Y'all got it? Y'all understand that? Number 1.
Do not deny God.
Isn't that something that's so plain? Read number 2.
Do not blaspheme God. Do not murder. Do not engage in illicit sexual relations. Do not steal.
But then it started to seem like, when they tried to replace it with this thing right here, and now listen, this is the same thing that those presidents are signing in. Every time they come in office, they signing this in, okay? But it kind of like somebody that's unlearned, this would throw them. Right? It would throw them. They look like they're doing pretty good here, right? But then you get down to that sixth one and it says what?
Do not eat from a live animal.
Now who's going to eat part of an animal that's walking around and he just bite a chunk out of his butt and let it keep going? Who's going to do that? That don't make standing around sense, right? And then we got the 7th verse.
Create legal system of justice.
Where is that in the 10 Commandments? Where is it in the 10 Commandments that say we have to create a legal system of justice? It's not in there. That is not inside the 10 Commandments. But this is the 7 Noahide laws right here. This is what they're pushing. But wait a minute, we haven't gotten that far. Give me another slide, brother. Almost sound like the right thing. But what's missing? Next slide. At the first glance, read.
At first glance, 3 are missing.
3 of the laws are missing up from the beginning. They said 7 is 10. We already know that something don't add up. How 7 gonna cover 10? I don't know. Like I guess they got Shaq holding 3 of the people. But keep going.
Secondly, what God are they talking about?
What God are they actually talking about? Read.
Thirdly, the 6th is not one of the originals.
The 6th one, the one that they were talking about what? About the live animal, eat from a live animal? That's not even part of the original. Read.
Lastly, the 7th, create a legal system. Where is that in the 10 Commandments?
There's nowhere near the 10 Commandments, right? Next slide. John 8:44.
Ye are of your father the devil.
And what?
And the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie,
Right.
he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it.
So when they put these Noahide, the Noahide laws out there, and they trying to make everybody go with them, they ain't doing, but they just liars. And who's their God? Their God is Satan. Because everything they put in Noahide, all the Noahide law is nothing but a straight lie. So we know that the God they're talking about is Satan. Next slide.
They have do not steal, and do not kill, and do not engage in illicit sexual immorality. But according to the Talmud,
But according to the Talmud, they say this stuff, but according to the Talmud, what?
they can have sex with a little girl or a little boy, and it's okay.
Just think about it. Everybody know what happens when these priests circumcise the little boys, right? Y'all know how they clear the blood up, right? Okay, so we're not going to go into that. That right there alone lets me know that they're not, that they out of the way with this.
Some of us don't know
Some of us don't know.
what they do when they circumcise little boys.
Oh, so you gonna make me say it.
I'll say it.
You don't want to know?
I'll say it in a
You know, but you don't want to hear it, right?
appropriate way.
Don't say just be gentle.
They use their mouth.
Okay.
I say it appropriately.
Right. For the little boys that they cut them. When they cut them, they clean up with their mouth. All right. Y'all knew that, right? Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, we have to tell you. Let me tell you in detail. I'm joking. Next slide, bro. All right.
Noah's covenant talked about not eating flesh with the life thereof. Ye shall not eat. Genesis 9:4.
Right.
But these Noahide laws twist that and say don't eat of a live animal.
But see, remember, we read the note. Somebody pull up Genesis 9 and 4 real quick. You got it? So Genesis 9 and 4, they said that they said this Noahide law. When I'm talking about not eating flesh, like okay, they saying that they're standing on this right here. Wait a minute. Noah's covenant talks about eating flesh with the life thereof. You shall not eat. Right. But they stand on Genesis 9 and 4. But these Noahide laws twist that to say don't eat what?
A live animal.
But we know what this means, right? This means don't eat the animal with blood in it. Because the life is in the blood. But they're trying to say that they're trying to say that this right here supports what they're saying about not eating a live animal. So we know that that's a lie right there too, right? Go ahead, sister.
So then that justifies them for eating raw food and the things that they eat.
They can eat the raw food because it's
It's not
dead.
alive,
The animal is dead. So they can eat it raw, but they take it and twist it like that's what he's saying here. But what he's saying here is that no, even if it's dead and you eat it with blood in it, you ate the life of that animal. So now you're responsible that you're gonna be charged with that life of that animal because you ate it, right? So that right there alone to let us know that there's no high law is all. But let me tell you, you guys gonna hear about this no high law more and more on the internet. It just hadn't hit the scene like it's getting ready to hit it. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna show you why. Next slide. You see how they eating raw? This guy here eating a live octopus. This man here eating a live animal, right? He in there with the doggone dog. The wolves, what the wolf eating, right? And this guy here eating a lizard, a live lizard. Somebody said, all right. Somebody said, all right. But they eating stuff that's live, so we're not supposed to eat anything that's live with blood in it.
And all of that is forbidden for us to eat, period.
But I know, but this guy here eating like it's a delicacy. That's an octopus.
It is for him. It's them.
Yeah, because it's going to delicately put their butt back down in that pit. Next slide. Look at this. Y'all see that? That's an actual flag that they have. That's actual. Y'all see it? But read the bottom for me.
They plan to utilize these laws as a foundation for the New World Order based on the Noahide laws.
Read.
Tel Aviv, Israel has the largest gay parade in the world, yet they have, no sexual immorality.
You see that? But when they walk, every year they walk on that flag for gay pride. And y'all know this represents what? The rainbow. And the rainbow is the covenant that the Most High made with Noah and everything that lived after the flood, right?
Yep.
Okay, next slide.
On Education Day, 1991,
Uh-huh.
George Bush Sr. made explicit reference to the topic of education that this day represents.
So wait a minute. First they talked about who? Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was first, right? Now they back up to George Bush. Now this here's the dad. That's senior. Read.
Bush signed into the law a proclamation stating that the Talmudic Noahide laws are the basis of civilized society and upon which a great nation was founded.
I got sidetracked. Okay, so Bush signed into law a proclamation stating that the what?
Talmudic?
Talmudic Noahide law are what are the basis of civilized society and upon which our great nation was founded. So he signed it in a law saying that America was what? Founded upon the Noahide law. This is information. Why do you think that they don't care? They don't care. And you always know they live in a different life, right? Continue to read, brother.
The ethical values and principles, which have been the bedrock of society from the dawn of civilization, when they were known as the 7 Noahide laws. And without these ethical values and principles, the edifice of civilization stands in serious peril of returning to chaos. And that, in tribute to this great spiritual leader, the Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, this his 19th year will be seen as one of education and giving. The year in which we turn to education and charity to return the world to the moral and ethical values contained in the 7 Noahide laws, and that the Lubavitch movement has fostered and promoted these ethical values and principles throughout the world.
Y'all see that? Next slide. This is something that we're dealing with, and we don't even know we're dealing with this. We're dealing with it, but we don't even know we're dealing with it. So there goes Bush Sr. He's signing it. You see, y'all look who's standing around him. Y'all see who that is? That's Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 right there.
All over it. I was just thinking that.
And around his son, they brought their friends with them. Revelation 2 and 9. I guess that's Revelation 2 and 9. That must be 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 right there. Read, brother.
With Chabad rabbis from across the world looking on, President George W. Bush signs a presidential proclamation Tuesday, April 15, 2008, in honor of Education and Sharing Day, and highlighting the work of the Chabad Lubavitch movement. Since 1978, every president has signed an Education and Sharing Day proclamation.
Since 1978, way before some of the kids was born in here. And adults. I'm sorry, and adults. No, kids say and adults, oh, because you won. Boy, you barely got past that, you know. You barely got past that. Boy, you're part of history. But if you look at it, right, it said that since 1978, every president, not every other president, it said every president has signed an Education and Sharing Day proclamation, which is the same thing. Continue to read, Bob.
Rabbi Yerachmiel Gorlick of Fort Collins is on the far left. Is this really about education and sharing? Let's look deeper.
Next slide. Y'all know who that guy is, right? That's it's gonna be hard to see him, but that right there is that's your I won't say that's President that's Trump. That's Trump. So we're not gonna be able to read all this right here, But it says up here, it says, I can't really see that, it says the Sanhedrin blessed Trump. So that's why when people try to say they're going to come out to Sanhedrin, that's why we don't fool with the Sanhedrin. Because when they say they want to come from the Sanhedrin, you know there's a mess with that. They blessed Trump. The Sanhedrin did. Then it say calls on president to what? Uphold 7 Noahide laws. And then down the bottom says what?
Trump will usher in the 7 Noahide laws, one world religion.
One world religion. They trying to spread that right there is going to be the one that y'all looking for. Remember, we're getting there. I'm not going to jump ahead of myself. I won't do it again, Carol. Thank you. You didn't say nothing that time. You just looked at it. Next slide.
By Adam Eliahu
I like that. I like his middle name. It was a very nice middle name.
Berkowitz, breaking Israel news. In an ancient and honored Jewish custom, the Nascent Sanhedrin sent a letter to the new leader of the U.S., President Donald Trump, blessing him and calling on him to take the lead in restoring America and the world. The Sanhedrin also called on the new president to acknowledge and uphold the 7 Noahide laws.
Read.
The letter follows the custom of the Jewish people to bless foreign kings as seen in a verse in Jeremiah. Rabbi Dov Stein, secretary of the Sanhedrin, told Breaking Israel News, and seek the peace of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray unto Hashem for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace.
So now remember, we don't cover that. So now remember, they got now, so what they want to do, they want to throw a cloud out there so you can see it and say, hey, these guys are right. So they threw on there, they put Jeremiah 29:7. But continue to read. We're gonna cover that. We're gonna go back and read the real deal in a second. But continue to read.
Sanhedrin member Rabbi Yoel Schwartz expanded on the decision, pointing out the importance of Trump's role. We turn to President Trump because America functions as a world leader today in many things. He told Breaking Israel News, as such, we address the new president, asking him to fix things that Barack Obama broke, to bring back family values, and to lead the war against radical Islamic terror.
Next slide. But now remember now, the twist. Here come the twist right here. This is the twist. This is another one of their twists that they have going on. This is just a twist on that. Right? Jeremiah 29. We're going to go 7 through 9. We got it right on the board.
Jeremiah 29, 7 through 9. And seek the peace of the city, whether I have caused you to be carried away captive.
So we got to seek the peace over here in America. We want to be captive over here. Read.
And pray unto the Most High for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace.
So in the peace, people have peace. And what?
For thus said the Most High of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams which ye cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, said the Most High.
So they tried to use 7. But when you went back and researched 7, you found out about those lying fools. They gave themselves up. They gave you information against them to show where they lying at. Because this don't line with what they saying. And they gave you the scripture. You just go look at the scriptures and say, oh, well, I started reading 7. I said, oh, well, let's go on that. 8 and 9. And 9 really shut them down. I said, okay. So we see right now they gave themselves away with that. But they are trying to make those 7 laws cover this whole world. Next slide. Look at that. What's that?
Pope affirms Zionist Noahide laws.
So who is this on the left? Who is this?
That's the rabbi.
That's the rabbi, right? And he's with who? Pope Benedict, right? Now how can you get the rabbi and Pope Benedict to agree on the same thing? Don't they have different?
Look what they admitted.
Huh?
Look what they admitted.
Oh, where? What are you talking about?
He
Oh,
said,
yeah. And look on the side, you got the Sanhedrin here, right? And you got the real Jew news. But anyway, what you should look where they met at.
Yes, sir.
On the synagogue, right. Oh, wait, I'm talking Benedict. Okay, Park East Synagogue in New York City, and that's April 18, 2008, right? But they agreeing on this Noahide Law. That's what they're agreeing on. The Noahide Law. Next slide. Amos 3:3.
Can two walk together except they be agreed?
See that? So now you got this thing. Go back one. So this guy here gonna be Jewish, right? And this guy right here is Catholic, right? They sleeping in the same bed. They all doing the same thing. Their whole idea is to do the same. The one world order. Go ahead, go up 2 slides. There you go.
Orthodox Judaism, the non-biblical, tyrannical system of double standards, has one preferential religious and legal system for the so-called Jews, and a lower tier system of tyranny for the Goyim.
Who are the Goyim? Goyim are Gentiles. Okay.
Which is to say, everyone else. According to the rabbis, the Goyim are forbidden to even read the Bible and should be executed for doing so. They should only concern themselves with observing the Noahide laws. As Maimonides state in the so-called authoritative Mishnah Torah.
So y'all see they got there, right? Go up, next slide. So we know what?
We know that we are not Gentiles.
But they're going to try to make us live in accordance to those 7. That they saying that we should be able to live by the 10. But everybody have made us has said us to, has even fooled a lot of us, and some of us just woke up that we are not Gentiles, but they say we're Gentiles. They're trying to say that we have to live by those 7 laws, right? Continue to read, brother.
We know that we are not Gentiles, but many believe that we once were and woke up. But many true Israelites believe that they are, in fact, Gentiles.
Them people that go into church tomorrow believe it, and guess what? They're going to end up living by those 7 laws. Yes, ma'am.
And when you think about people, you think about Christianity. 7 of the laws, so to speak, you know what I mean? Like, they don't keep Saturday, or they don't keep, you know what I mean? So it's only they church people, which laws they keep. So in essence, Christianity falls in line automatically.
Exactly.
And a lot of these Christians, these evangelical white Christians, are really into the government and laws and Republicans, mindset and all of that.
And they don't even know that they're actually living by the 7 Noahide laws. So since 1982, for sure, we know that America been a part of it. And then they said that America was founded on these laws. Right? Next slide. Did we finish that? Okay.
2 Corinthians 11:3-14. Verse 3. But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in our Hamashiach.
Right. So the thing is that we know what the law is, and it's very simple to us. But they trying to change it. They trying to make it look like it's not what it is. Read that 14th verse.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
So they trying to take that Noahide law and make it become light. Make it become the 10. Let's keep going. Next slide.
This is one way Satan can deceive the whole world. He has the false people of the Most High, Jewish, enforcing rules for the whole world.
Next slide.
Mark 13:9-12. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye. For it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Ghost.
Okay, so hold tight, right? How many of y'all remember the 3 Hebrew boys? And what they went through? Right? Okay. What about Maccabees? The Maccabees, right? What about the 7 sons of, who's that? I think that was out of which book? The Maccabees, second Maccabees, right? Right. So if you think about it, when they try to push these 7 laws over on you, and you know what the 10 is, you got to stand for the 10, because he says some of us going to be beheaded, for his name's sake. Go ahead, sister.
And that just makes me think of their number 7 law.
Next
because
time.
they said deliver you up to council because they're developing their own courts of justice system. And how, I know it's supposed to be a theory, how they close down Walmarts and they have guillotines and all that. Where they behead people, they're planning to behead people. Kind of sounds like this scripture here.
So they got, so go ahead, sister.
They're also infiltrating the churches because, even with the FEMA, because now they're even getting the churches to go along with the Noahide laws.
Yes.
If you notice, they told churches if they have someone that's not going by their bylaws to report them to the agents. And the agents will come and get them because they're going with the Noahide laws for that creative legal system.
Exactly. Anybody else? So we know that this day is coming. This day is not far-fetched. It's coming. But he gave us information about the other Hebrews that stood. Because remember, it was all about the law. The 3 Hebrew boys was dealing with the dietary law, right? So it's all about the law. And then one of them was like about honoring their king and praying to their gods, right? Who would do that? So they would try Daniel in that. So we got to understand that this thing is coming down the pike. It's going to happen again. But this is where you're going to be tested at. And where you're going to be. Who? What? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Back in 2007, it was a group called the 3 Hebrew Boys.
Oh.
They were South Carolina. They were black guys.
And
they were investors. And they were literally getting only black people. And they were getting them in and they were literally showing them how to invest, pay off the houses, pay off cars. And I mean, it was amazing. We came in, we were like, yeah, we're going to get into this. As soon as we got in it, they arrested them and they threw them in jail. They said it was a Ponzi scheme. Everybody you knew was paying off houses, paying off cars, buying houses, buying cars to show them, how to invest. And they only went, so what they did, they started going around churches, black churches, and how we eat each other up.
Yeah.
People getting jealous and, maybe I don't have the money to invest, maybe I got to put $7,000 in and pay off my $300,000 house,
Right.
But the ones who didn't have the money, started telling. It was the churches that brought them down. People in churches started reporting them. And they literally arrested them boys and put them boys in jail.
Because those things was working. I remember when that came through, that was working because they had one thing about called elite activity.
Yeah. And I didn't think about their names. Three people. Why were you back then, 2007? Nobody, we was all asleep. So why were their names the 3 Hebrew boys?
Right.
Yeah, I think they were over there.
Right.
Maybe
Exactly.
they were over there.
Yeah, they could have been awake. They were trying to help Israel. Right. Next slide. They were trying to help Israel. Right. Okay. So the 12th verse.
Now the brother shall betray the brother to death.
You see that? And that's going to happen. Known brothers that says that they are Hebrew Israelites are going to what? they're going to betray brothers. You can tell that's why it's important today that you get rid of your bad baggage. If you got somebody that's not down and they're not trying to do the right thing, you don't need to try to invest a whole lot in them. Because those will be the very ones that return on you when that time comes. Right? So it's to betray brothers to death and what?
And the father, the son.
And the father, the son. And what?
And children shall rise up against their parents.
For the same thing, just think about it. If these people say they're going to kill them if they don't keep this law, and do you know anybody else that's not keeping this law? Some people are so afraid of death that don't have the faith of the Most High and don't have a faith of His coming back and our Redeemer that's going to fold. They can say, hey, look, I ain't trying to die. Right? People be screaming, oh, I don't want to die. Then, you know, I tell you everything. Who you are. Give me a pencil, paper, and pen. I can name at least 40 for you. You know what I mean? They're going to start writing to save their own life. Right? And what?
And shall cause them to be put to death.
And they're going to cause people to be picked up and probably taken to one of those FEMA camps. Right? And be killed. Right?
And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake.
Mm-hmm.
But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved.
Can anybody say great tribulation? Can anybody say the great tribulation? Because if all this is going down, and they already saying that they're trying to spread this Noahide Law, they're trying to spread it throughout the whole world. But you're the only one that don't believe in this Noahide Law. You're the only one that's not living by this Noahide Law. You're going to be hated, what?
For all men.
By all men.
All men, for my name's sake.
And it's going to be for His name's sake because you're trying to keep the 10. You're trying to keep the 10 out of the 6. We don't want to keep the whole 613. But you want to keep the original laws of the Most High, the one that came down through Moshe. Right? Next slide. Psalms 83, 1 through 5.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh.
Because guess what? This thing is still into effect. Most of us learned this right here, Psalms 83. Most of us learned this right here when we first came into the war, right? But let me tell you something. It's just as real and just as powerful now as it was then. Continue to read, brother.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So guess what? What is it that separates us from our Father? The covenant, right? If we don't keep the covenant. If we don't keep His laws, statutes, and commandments, don't that separate us? That's what separated us before, right? So they get the Noahide laws in place and keep Israel and this whole world, right, living under the Noahide law. That means you're not living under the law of the Most High that separates you from your Father, right? Then what he'll happen? Either He kill the whole world or He let the whole world live. You see? But according to His word, He's not going to let them all live. He's not going to let them live. So He's just trying to find a way that He's going to what? Deceive us, right? And get us killed off. That's why that now me learning what I learned in this right here, I can truly see where it says 2/3 of Israel is not going to make it. I can see it now. I'm thinking, but how is more not going to make it that know the truth than the ones that, you know, and all of them know the truth, basically, but most of them have heard of the truth. How is there more than not going to make it than going to make it? It's like they have to cling on. But maybe not, right? Next slide.
Matthew 24, verse 24.
For
there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
That's why it's very important not just go hang out with anybody. Just because people tell you that they Israel, and you got somebody trying to get you to come out and they trying to get you to go hang out with these people and hang out with those people, that's the very reason why you don't need to do that. Because you don't know who's doing what. But you go along with you live by this thing of where you live, where you err on the side of caution. Stick to the basics and stay real, stay straight. Somebody come with all this information from out of the books that don't even really matter, and try to pull you away. That's saying about Satan trying to pull you out. They're trying to fool. They're trying to deceive the very elect. And it didn't say elite. It say elect. How do you know you're not elected? How do you know that you have not been elected by the Most High to be a part of the kingdom? And then we go out and we let friends, so-called friends, people with great deception, pull us us away from what we're doing. We got to make sure that we stay in line. We got to make sure that we stay. If it's working, stay there. You don't know if you're elected or not, but you got a better chance if you err on the side of caution than you do trying to go out there and be this great mastermind. Next slide. Okay.
The third temple has begun.
So y'all know that, right? Y'all know the third temple has begun, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
It has begun. Next slide.
King
We talking about this coin right here, but go ahead.
King Cyrus was promoted by Yahweh when the Babylonian captivity ended to decree that the second temple in Jerusalem be rebuilt and that the Israelites return to their land. This coin was designed to show that Trump is supposedly doing the same as King Cyrus and plans to build the third temple.
That's probably King Cyrus right there, and this probably Trump. But y'all see him, man, like he might be a little black, don't he? That nose, that little hump in that nose give him away a little bit, but he got something going on from over there. He got a beard. This guy here don't look, he like straight devil. Right? But now look at it now. This man here is using King Cyrus. He's riding on his tail, on his coattail, to say he's gonna build a third temple. Where in the Bible does it talk about the third temple? Where in the Apocrypha? Okay, we're going further than that. Where is that the pseudepigrapha? Right? It's unheard of. Next slide.
Satan is trying to deceive us into believing that this temple that Trump is trying to rebuild to be the real kingdom of Yah.
That's what they're trying to do. What kingdom is that? I'm so glad you asked. Next slide. Revelations 21.
Revelation 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
That's the kingdom they're trying to sell us. That's the kingdom that Trump, devil's ass is trying, devil's butt is trying to do. That's what he's doing. Next slide. No, not next slide. Next verse. Third verse.
Verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them, and be their Elohim.
But they trying to block that. Because they can get everybody to live by the 7 Noahide Law. This would never happen. This would never happen. They want to put us in their kingdom. The kingdom of man. Instead of the kingdom of what? The Most High. You're going to go through some tribulation to get to this one. But that one, all you got to do is just go along with false doctrine. No beatings. No death. Next slide.
And
I'm sorry. Next verse.
And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
So as we read this, wouldn't it be painful to see your mother, your father, your children beheaded because of the law? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be painful to see? Have you ever been through something that had your adrenaline going so high and so strong that when you got out of it, you know, you were just sad and in such a discomfort that all you could really do is cry, right? That's what it's going to be going. It's going to be like going through these tribulations, right? But He's going to wipe away all of that and give us that fifth verse.
And he that sat upon the throne said,
Behold,
I will make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful.
okay. Next slide. That's it. All right, so that's the Noahide Law. That's our introduction into the Noahide Law. You're probably gonna hear this again. Somebody's gonna probably take and put a slide on it, and probably gonna try to teach on it again. But you're gonna hear about this thing again, right? But I'm telling you, the best thing to do is stay away from it. Don't engage in it. Don't try to live by the Noahide Law. Try to stick with the 10. If you hold the 10 down, you'll be all right. You know, just try to stick with the one that came down through Moshe. Okay, so if everybody can,
Yeah, they are, in Israel, they have a museum where they're actually collecting, the different, supposed to be the artifacts that were in the old temple. They're reaching out to people all over the world so that they can collect these artifacts to where when the temple is built, they're gonna take those and put it in the temple to make us feel like that is His kingdom.
exactly, and everything that they can't collect from somewhere, they're gonna try to make it again. That's what you're saying. They're reaching out all over the world, see if somebody can reduplicate what was inside this thing. They try to put it all in there, right? So if everybody can stand, we're gonna try to close out. We do have, I think, Brother Abiyah have to leave. You, yes, yes, sir.